Welcome to Discovery! Roll the intro, please. Welcome back to another episode. And to be truthful, after a jam-packed start for February, this week was a little disappointing. I sifted through lots of albums that didn't make the cut for this week, and they all were pretty mediocre. I have 7 brand new albums to talk to you guys about on this episode, from raw black metal to metalcore to even medieval folk doom metal. There was some underground gems this week, so before we start this episode, pop your favorite discoveries down below, what you have discovered, and let's get started. First up, gonna open a can of Bundaberg rum, just because it's fucking late at night. You wouldn't believe what time it is at the moment. It is currently 3:20 a.m. But yeah, Bundaberg rum. Cheers, cunts. To kick off Discovery this week, we're heading to Germany, where we find a band called Taste of Doom and their album Bellum, released independently on February 7th. Take a listen. First of all, despite the name Taste of Doom, it isn't a doom metal band. It's actually the opposite. This is straight up thrash metal. It's a good album, but not a great one. And there are a few issues holding it back. The songwriting is solid and plenty of high and energetic thrash moments, but the overall production leaves a lot to be desired. The guitars sound thin, the percussion lacks impact, and the whole mix could have been a lot stronger. With a punchier production, this album could have reached another level. The first track, Guns and Ammo, is a really strong opener. Guns and Ammo, catchy chorus, killer riffs, and by the end of it, you'll probably be singing it along. It sets a high bar for the album, showcasing fast, aggressive thrash with a punk edge. Interestingly, this band has been around since 2003, but only just released their first full-length album this year. That's a long wait, and while the experience shows in their playing, the overall execution could have been a little bit tighter. A lot of the songs here are solid thrash bangers. The Rats Do Sleep Nights keep the energy going, while Give Us the Bomb is one of the hardest hitting tracks on the album, packed with roaring guitar solos, fast-paced Slay-esque sections, and some well-executed chord progressions. The punk influence in the vocals are strong, with lots of shouted, chant-like sections that add a raw, rebellious edge to the sound. However, the main issue with this album is its consistency. The first half is really, really strong, high energy, engaging, a full of riffs that make you want to headbang, but the second half feels like it loses a little bit of steam. A lot of steam. The songs become shorter and less developed, lacking the same punch as the earlier tracks. It's not that they're bad, just underwhelming. There's a noticeable drop in creativity, and some of the later songs feel more like filler than fully realized thrash anthems. For that reason, I'm scoring Taste of Doom debut album a 50%. It's got a strong first half, but the second half struggles to maintain that momentum. There's definitely some great musicianship here, and if they refine their production and songwriting in the future, they have the potential to deliver something much stronger. The vocals could use a little more variety, and a punchier mix would do wonders for their sound. That said, they seem to be channeling that raw 80s style thrash production, so if you're into that old school feel, you might enjoy this one. If you're curious, check it out. You might connect with it more than I did. But let's move on. We're staying in Germany and welcoming back Nachtblut to discovery once more. Their new album Todschick was released on February 21st through Napalm Records. Take a listen. Back in 2020, I scored Verdammt on an 80% on Discovery, and I really enjoyed how they blended all kinds of extreme metal influences into that album. Now in 2025, we finally have another Nachtblut release, and I've been eagerly anticipating Todschick. Nachtblut is such an interesting band. They're classified as extreme gothic metal, but their sound is a mix of gothic metal, black metal, industrial influences, making them stand out. This album continues their signature style, delivering another solid entry in the discography. Sure, it's quirky at times, but some songs hit fucking incredibly hard. Askeroth's vocals remind me of Danny Phil from Køldbrynger at times, but also Till Lindemann from Rammstein, because yes, this album has a Rammstein-like edge, especially in tracks like Todschick and Von Hass getrieben. And would I even say they sound like Ailstorm am Stirb langsam? Absolutely. That song has a pirate metal edge to it, which is unexpected but fits with Todschick's unpredictable energy. This album is completely bonkers, but that's what makes it so fucking fun. The production is crisp with meaty guitar tones and hard-hitting percussion. There's a fantastic balance between like clean and deep vocals to blackened shrieks, which add another layer of depth to their sound. The electronic elements, the keyboards are sprinkled throughout, enhancing the atmosphere, the gothic atmosphere, without overpowering the metal foundation. Then you have the straight up heavy hitters like Götze Stille, which comes in swinging with sheer aggression. The orchestral elements and keyboards in Das Leben der Adelen really elevate the album, especially with those piercing high shrieks at the end. And if you're looking for ballads, this album has them, but they hit a lot fucking harder than the ballads from Verdammt. The atmosphere is epic, giving Todschick an almost cinematic quality at times. Overall, I really enjoy this one. And I think a lot of people will appreciate it too. And not to mention that fucking album cover. It's so good. Yes, there are some weird moments, but that's the charm of Nachtblut. They embrace the unexpected and it makes their music feel fresh. I'm scoring Todschick an 80%. In my opinion, it's on par with Verdammt, a solid album from start to finish with great melodies, crushingly heavy moments, and a fantastic atmosphere. If you're looking for something unique in the extreme gothic metal realm, go check this one out, because it's a banger. Now we head over to the US, where Killswitch Engage has just dropped their new album, This Consequence, released on February 21st through Victor Records. Take a listen. So, how does this one hold up? Honestly, one thing I really appreciate is the production on this. It's not overly crisp and sterile like a lot of modern metalcore releases. Instead, it has a more raw and organic heaviness that fits Killswitch Engage's sound perfectly. And I was really surprised that Killswitch Engage is now on Metal Archives. Wow, that is moving forward. This is definitely a hard-hitting album packed with killer riffs and solid songwriting, but there's a noticeable amount of repetitiveness in some tracks, especially in Abandon Us and Forever Aligned. While that might hurt the overall flow a bit, the album makes up for it with some fantastic guitar work. Now, I'll be truthful. I've never really been into Killswitch Engage. Blasphemy. I've seen them live many times and they are absolutely fucking fantastic live on stage. I still remember watching them opened for Iron Maiden and they put on one hell of a show. That's what I feel when listening to this Consequence. This album was made for live performances. Every song has that crowd-pleasing energy. I have no doubt that when they play these tracks fucking live, they'll absolutely kill it. Jesse Leach is a terrific vocalist, and he really stays in his lane on this record. His hi-fi screams, deep growls, and soaring cleans are all on point. The breakdowns hit hard on this. The album's overall sound feels more in line with like that classic metalcore rather than modern overproduced material, which I really like. Some standout tracks include The Four of Us, which delivers some really good energy, and Requiem, which is an interesting choice for the album closer, though I personally feel like it shouldn't have closed off the album. It's more of a compilation of strong songs rather than an album with a clear progression. Here's the problem. I don't really feel the urge to go back to this album, unfortunately. It's not quite my style. While I had a fun time listening, nothing here truly blew me away. So I'm scoring Killswitch engages this Consequence a 60%. Now, to be clear, that's still a good score. A lot of longtime fans will probably rate this a little bit higher, and that's fair. It's just that for me, it didn't leave a lasting impact. But if you're a Killswitch Engage fan or have been living under a fucking rock, definitely check it out. You might love it. Next up, we fly back to Germany for another discovery, this time featuring Køldbrynger and their latest album, Gaia, Geschändet und Verdammt. Released through Germany's Othala Klangschmiede Records on February 22nd. Take a listen. This album is categorized as raw black metal, but honestly, it's not that raw. There's a lot of depth in the sound, layers of textures, and while it does maintain a primal organic black metal aesthetic, the production is surprisingly clear. First of all, I love the melodies on this. They are captivating, enthralling, and rich with atmosphere. From what I gather, Køldbrynger is a one-man band with special guest musicians featured throughout the album. The ethereal and atmospheric black metal vibes remind me of bands like Drowning the Light, with a majestic, almost ritualistic quality that makes this a standout release. Right after the long cinematic prologue, the album launches into Dornenstick, which is an incredible track. It's epic, atmospheric, and packed with great guitar work. I love the chants that give it such a grand, almost medieval feel, making one of the strongest moments on the album. Then we get Herbst Depression, where the vocals are absolutely killer. The album features another artist, Ashta, whom I wasn't familiar with before, but he does an amazing job with both harsh growls and clean vocals. The sound on this track feels huge, thanks to layered atmosphere, powerful drumming, and synth work, which all add to its immersive nature. The self-titled track, Gaia, Geschändet und Verdammt, is absolutely fantastic. This one leads heavily into a doomy, melancholic atmosphere while still maintaining a blackened intensity. The guitar work is excellent, and while it has heavy, chaotic blast beats at times, it also knows when to pull back and breathe, allowing the melodies to take center stage. At 12 minutes long, it's the longest track on the album, but every second feels purposeful. Then there's Wenn Leben sich zu Asche wandelt, which is another brilliant highlight. This track stands out for its whiny, sorrowful guitar work, which blends seamlessly with the doom-laden atmosphere. The manic screeching vocals add such an extra layer of raw emotion and despair, making this one of the most intense moments on the album. It has that perfect mix of melodic black metal and crushing doom influences, creating something hauntingly yet strangely beautiful. Love the Middle Eastern melodies on this. The album closes with Voldes Ruhe, capital 1 und 2. And this suite is just brilliant. It's packed with beautiful, beautiful melodies, intricate guitar work, and synth-driven moments that make for a perfect way to end the album. The songs strike a great balance between heaviness and atmosphere, delivering powerful moments of like black metal aggression while keeping that ethereal, almost cinematic feeling intact. Finally, we reach the epilogue, which strips everything back to subtle, beautiful keyboards, a peaceful, almost classical moment after all the fucking chaos. This final touch adds a lot of emotional weight to the album and really completes the journey. I genuinely love this album, and I really want to get my hands on the physical copy. It's dark, intense, and emotionally powerful, but there's also a glimmer of light and hope in its melodic undertone. The one major downside, that album cover, it's horrendous. Easily one of the worst fucking album covers of the year, and it doesn't do justice to the quality, to the music. I'm scoring Køldbringer's Gaia, Geschändet und Verdammt and 80%. It's an incredibly strong black metal album that draws you in and demands repeated listens. It's lengthy, definitely feels like it exceeds an hour, but every moment offers something compelling. Honestly, it doesn't feel like an hour. If you love atmospheric, immersive black metal, this is a must listen. Well, this was a surprise package. Next up, we travel to Italy, where we discovered the 7th Guild, who just released their debut album Triumviro on February 21st through Scarlet Records. Take a listen. I was really surprised by this one. This is a power metal album through and through, and it's a solid one at that. What stood out to me the most was the production quality. The drums are punchy, the guitar tone is rich and flavorful and powerful, and the vocals are incredibly well executed. There's also a lot of keyboards, synths, and orchestral elements that make this album feel epic and close to cinematic. What makes this album even more interesting is that there are 3 vocalists, all of whom also play instruments, adding depth and variety to the overall sound. The layered vocal harmonies give the album a grand, almost theatrical feel, making it stand out from other recent power metal releases. This album might just be my favorite power metal release of the year so far. Yes, power metal in 2025 has been decent, with solid releases from bands like Mantric Momentum and Majestica, but I feel like the 7th Guild brings stronger songwriting on this, better melodies, and a more engaging atmosphere. They have a great sense of composition, creating soaring harmonies, galloping rhythms, and even some unexpected elements that keep things fresh. At only 48 minutes long, this album flies by, and by the time it ended, I wanted more. I really wanted more, which is always a great sign. The album cover pops, though I suspect it might be AI generated. But regardless of that, the music inside is what truly matters, and it delivers. This album has a classic power metal feel, reminding me of Halloween and even Rhapsody, especially in tracks like Holy Land. This song is fantastic, great riffs, soaring vocals, and explosive fucking guitar solo, all backed by energetic drumming that drives the song forward. The self-titled track, The Seventh Guild, is another highlight packed with emotion and intensity. The chord progressions here are tasty, giving the song an anthemic quality that sticks with you. Then there's La Promessa Cremisi, a beautifully structured track that starts with majestic orchestral elements and marching style drums, then leads into a juicy solo before gradually building toward an epic and cinematic finale. Then we got In Nomine Patris, which I'm pretty sure Lacuna Coil did a song called In Nomine Patris. And this song is absolutely fantastic. The chanting intro creates an immersive atmosphere before launching into some powerful, hard-hitting power metal. This song is one of the most dynamic and engaging moments on the album. Now, while Time is a decent track, I feel like it could have been better. It leans a bit towards like the generic power metal tropes and lacks some of the more creative elements found in other songs. It's not bad, but it just needed a bit more room to breathe to truly stand out. It's more of a power ballad in my opinion. However, the last two tracks completely make up for it. You got the Metal Charade and Guardians of Eternity. Brilliant ways to close off the fucking album. Both songs are energetic, packed with impressive solos, and feature killer riffs. The vocals shine and the songwriting keeps things fresh and engaging until the very end. Overall, Triumviro is a really strong power metal album. It's got fantastic atmosphere, punchy production, and memorable melodies that make it a highly enjoyable listen. I'm scoring to say 75%. It's not groundbreaking, but it's damn well fucking satisfying and well worth checking out. If you're a power metal fan, you should absolutely give this a listen. It's fun, well crafted, and filled with great moments that stick with you. I really enjoyed this one, so go check it out. For the main event of this week's discovery. This week's episode is a bit shorter simply because a lot of albums didn't really impress me. I only chose the albums that were worth talking about because otherwise it would just be a string of negative fucking reviews, and who wants that? So we head over to Sweden where we find Apocalypse Orchestra, returning with their first album since 2017. They just released a sophomore album, A Plague Upon Thee, on February 14th through Despots Records. Take a listen. Now, I realize this is a little bit older release at this point, but I had to highlight this record because no one is really talking about it. And that really baffles me. Why? Because this album is fucking absolutely fantastic doom metal. I like to call it orchestra doom, but really it's medieval folk-infused doom metal album filled with rich instrumentation and dark brooding atmosphere. I absolutely love the mix of the orchestral elements with those crushing heavy guitars. This album is layered with so many different instruments. There are bagpipes, hurdy-gurdy, mandola, sitins, lutes, flutes, and I swear I can even hear a fucking harp in certain moments. There's literally everything on this album and it all blends together so beautifully. The vocals are phenomenal, alternating between clean, menacing chants that remind me of Candlemass and deep guttural growls that hit unexpectedly, like in the song Tempest and Saint Yesinia. The album moves between crushingly heavy riffs, haunting melodies, and dark atmospheric passages, and the orchestral elements make everything feel incredibly grand and immersive. Now, I'll say this. Some people might not like this album just because of how slow it is, but it's fucking doom metal. What do you expect? The whole genre thrives from sludgy, methodical pacing, and this album executes it perfectly. The opening track, Virago, had me a little concerned at first. It starts off as an extended instrumental, and I thought, oh no, this is going to be an entire instrumental album, but I was quickly proven wrong. Even that long intro was brilliant. It was heavy, atmospheric, and loaded with orchestral elements, and once the vocals finally kicked in, I knew this album was going to be something special. Tempest really fucking surprised me. The middle section is unbelievably heavy, and the vocals in this part are cavernous, almost reminding me of like Sword of the Sun or even Morning Beloved. It's just an awesome song. The folk elements blend seamlessly with the heavier moments, and the guitar leads are just as mesmerizing. Then you got Glass and Sun. It's a slow, trudging monster of a song, but the melodies are stunning. It's the same with Anchor Hold, another brilliant fucking track. The percussion is excellent, and the production really highlights the lutes and hurdy-gurdy in a way that makes everything feel so damn organic and immersive. From the Athanor is another great song, balancing slow, crushing heaviness with a beautifully executed chorus. Then we get to Saint Yesinia, which is such a fantastic closer. The heavier moments hit hard, while the orchestral layers blend with those crushing guitars and pounding drums. The outro is extremely memorable, making a fittingly epic way to close the album. Overall, this album completely surprised me. I've never really heard anything quite like this before. It's metal first and foremost, but the folk and orchestral elements are always present in the background, making everything feel so grand in scale. I'm scoring a Plague Upon Thee an 80%. I can't score it any higher because while I really enjoyed it, I still feel like there are stronger albums than this year. That being said, this is an absolutely fantastic album, and it deserves way more attention than it's currently getting. If you love folk-infused doom metal, this one needs to be on your radar. Apocalypse Orchestra delivers something truly unique, but I'm really hoping we don't have to wait until another fucking 7 years for the next album.
Usurp the throne, take the crowns of fallen foes, leave the resilient scarred and the innocent in throes, drain all the pabulum, bleed the weak.
Oh, wait. It's not over just yet. You might have thought Apocalypse Orchestra was going to be our main event, but one album eclipsed it. We now head over to the UK to discover Abduction, a one-man black metal band who just released their new album, Existentialismus on February 21st through Candlelight Records. Take a listen. Honestly, I can't believe how much this album gripped me from the very first note. The moment I heard the opening track, I instantly bought this physical copy. That doesn't happen often, but when it does, it means something special. There have been many albums that have captivated me, but I think Abduction managed to do it in record fucking time. First and foremost, Abduction is a black metal band, and the black metal here is just brilliant. The melodies are mesmerizing, the vocals are top notch, and the way this album weaves aggression with atmosphere is nothing short of spectacular. His blackened shrieks and growls are some of the best I've heard this year, but what really caught me off guard were those clean vocals. They're incredibly well executed and add a whole new dimension to the album. We get chants as well throughout this. The riffs and tremolo picking are memorable, the percussion is thunderous, and there are intricate drumming patterns that bring in a few progressive elements to keep things unpredictable. The production is organic and has just the right amount of rawness without sounding muddy. There's a natural reverb that gives the drums a cavernous sound, and at times the vocals feel distant, almost as if they're like echoing through a void, adding to the album's sense of isolation and despair. At around 45 minutes long, this album takes you on a journey through despair, haunting melodies, and top-tier songwriting. Everything about this album is interesting. There are layers of atmosphere, texture, and depth that make every listen feel like you're uncovering something new. This is British black metal at its finest, standing alongside some of the best releases of the album of the year. There are moments of pure chaos, but also sections of like hypnotic beauty. The way Abduction balances the aggression and melody reminds me of bands like the Great Old Ones. And it's cold, harsh, yet strangely beautiful. The album opens with A Legacy of Shores, and from the first few seconds, you can already feel that atmospheric building. The track has a dark, ominous energy, and as it erupts into full force, the tremolo riffs and soaring fucking melodies create a feeling of both power and sorrow. Then we have the hard-hitting Paramedira Liberi, a track that leans even further into atmospheric black metal with hypnotic guitar work and layered synths that create a vast immersive soundscape. Truth is as sharp, a sword on vengeance, I think it's called, introduces clean vocals but keeps the instrumentals aggressive, adding a sense of contrast and unpredictability. The dynamics on this album are incredible, shifting between furious black metal and ethereal melodic moments that create a deeply immersive experience. Then we got Blau ist die Farbe der Ewigkeit is a standout track packed with traditional black metal elements, yet the drums and guitar melodies elevate it into something much more grand and cinematic. Then there's Razors of Occam, a track that is both brutal and elegant, but it's the finale that makes this album a must fucking have for 2025. Vomiting at Borbeck is it's a masterpiece. This song draws you in with hypnotic melodies, manic vocal work, and a suffocating atmosphere that fully immerses you in its world. The reverb-drenched vocals blend into the mix, creating an almost ghostly effect, and the way harsh screams fade into the instrumentation is just jaw-dropping. The songwriting is brilliant, the instrumentation is gripping, and the overall experience is unfucking forgettable. Yes, I instantly bought this album. Yes, I wasn't disappointed. To me, this is easily one of the best black metal albums of the year. 85%. It's up there with the Great Old Ones, Seor and Prognon, Void of Hope. It's right up there. There's just so much atmosphere, texture, and layering that every time you listen, you uncover something new. Yes, it's up there with Patriarch as well. If you love black metal, you need to check this one out. So yeah, what's wrong with my voice? Cheers. To be truthful, Apocalypse Orchestra was supposed to be the main event, but I totally forgot this album, Abduction. Even though it's absolutely fucking amazing, my mind just didn't work. I completely missed it. But yeah, Abduction is now the main event for this week's Discovery. So yeah, that's it for Discovery. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below what you discovered. It's been fun, and more content coming your way next week, and I'll see you in the next one.